evening and welcome to the San Bruno City Council meeting of October the 11th, 2016. I'd like to thank the Garden Club for the flowers they always provide for our meetings. Roll call, please.
Councilmember O'Connell. Here. Vice Mayor Marty Medina.
Here.
Mayor Ruane.
Here.
Councilmember Rico Medina.
Here.
Councilmember Ken Ibera.
Here.
Connie Jackson, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There aren't any special announcements this evening, but we do have some presentations, and I'm going to change the order a little bit, with the council. First, I'd like to call on Chief Barberini to help me present Distinguished Service Awards to Police Corporal Valiente and Officer Harper. And I'd like the Chief to tell us about these two officers and what led up to these very special awards. Chief?
Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council members. Thank you for taking the time to recognize our staff. We're pretty proud of the acts that we're recognizing them for tonight. Before we get started, we just wanted to mention that our thoughts and prayers as far as the San Bruno Police Department family are with our counterparts down south. It's been a rough couple days for law enforcement. On Wednesday, October 5th, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office lost a sergeant to gunfire, and just a couple days ago, the Palm Springs Police Department lost two officers as well to the same type of incident. So we are thinking about them as we recognize our officers tonight. San Bruno Police General Order 1-11 establishes the Distinguished Service Medal and the requisite for how and when that award is awarded. And it's awarded to any police department employee who distinguishes himself or herself in the performance of such duties under unusual, complicated, or hazardous conditions where the employee used excellent judgment in accompanying an assigned mission. This may also be awarded to an employee whose action and training directly resulted in saving or preventing the loss of human life. We have two such individuals who are eligible and have been approved for the awarding of that medal tonight. The first is Officer Andrew Harper. On July 2nd, 2016, Officer Harper was vacationing with three family members in the Trinity River area known as Cemetery Hole. All four individuals participated in saving a life that day. An inexperienced river kayaker became trapped by submerged tree branches just above Cemetery Hole on a bend of the Trinity River in Lewiston, California. A group of experienced rafters saw one inflatable kayak trapped between a submerged tree in strong rapids just above this fishing hole known as Cemetery Hole. The group of rafters beached their rafts while two of their party, Officer Harper's cousin and uncle, ran to provide aid. The kayaker was able to free herself from the wreckage while the two men attempted to recover the boat itself. At this point, a second inexperienced kayaker, the first kayaker's husband, was immediately pulled under the same log, flipped into an inverted position, and became trapped underwater. Parts of his harness and rigging became looped around the tree, making it impossible for him to right his boat or free himself from the rushing current. Officer Harper retrieved a knife in order to cut the man free, and all four men worked feverishly to free the drowning kayaker, who remained pinned between the log and the riverbed. All four men climbed into the submerged log, onto the submerged log, and pulled the kayak and trapped operator back against the current. They were able to lift the kayak just enough to reach the snag straps holding the kayak in place and cut them. However, the kayaker was still trapped by the branches. All four rescuers then battled the force of the river current, nearly being dragged under themselves, and were finally able to pull the kayaker to safety. Without a doubt, the actions of Officer Harper and his family members that day saved this kayaker's life, and had they not been there and been able to do what they would have done, it would have been a very tragic circumstance. So I'd like to commend and congratulate Officer Harper on his actions. The second individual that we'd like to recognize tonight is Corporal Joe Valiente. On August 8th, Corporal Valiente rendered immediate emergency aid to a stabbing victim who had come to the rear of the police department. The victim had been the victim of an assault at the BART station on BART property, who had been stabbed by another subject, and came to the police department for aid. The investigation revealed that an apparent argument over property had escalated to the point where one subject stabbed another. The victim was able to walk to the back door of the San Bruno Police Department building and gain the attention of Corporal Valiente. He observed that the victim was bleeding profusely from his arm. At this point, Corporal Valiente removed the victim's jacket and immediately noticed that there was what was later determined to be arterial bleeding from the victim's severed brachial artery. Recognizing the life-threatening seriousness of the victim's wound, Corporal Valiente applied a combat application tourniquet that he carries on his duty belt on the upper arm of the victim, effectively stopping the flow of arterial blood and saving the victim's life. The BART Police Department wrote an extensive email to me commending Corporal Valiente and noted that their detective responded to the hospital and confirmed the serious nature of the victim's wound, specifically the severed artery, and spoke with a doctor and nurse who agreed that the timely application of the tourniquet had saved the victim's life. In addition to Corporal Valiente, I'd like to point out that night that his partners, while he was rendering aid to the victim, were able to interview witnesses, identify the suspect, and take the suspect into custody for the BART Police Department. So it was kind of a team effort there, but Corporal Joe Valiente took some extreme steps in saving this subject's life. So I'd like to commend and congratulate Corporal Joe Valiente. So as the process, each officer is awarded a medal, Mr. Mayor, and a pin they can wear on their uniform on a daily basis. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
So we did those first because we have probably half the police force here tonight. So you're welcome to get back out in the street if you'd like. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Our second presentation this evening is a presentation to present a proclamation to declare October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'll read this proclamation. City Council of the City of San Bruno, State of California, whereas October 6, 2016 is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and whereas breast cancer is the second most common kind of cancer in women, about 1 in 8 women born today in the United States will get breast cancer at some point. Whereas over 2,000 new cases of male breast cancer will be diagnosed in 2016, and survival for men is similar to survival for women. And whereas screenings, early detection, and prompt treatment can significantly reduce suffering and deaths caused by this disease, and whereas mammography and x-ray of the breast is recognized as the single most effective method of detecting breast changes that may be cancer long before physical symptoms can be seen or felt. Now therefore I, Jim Ruane, by the virtue and authority vested in me as mayor, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2016 as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the city of San Bruno, and encourage all residents to support the efforts of the foundations who will contribute funds to support research to find a cure. And I'd like to present this to Councilwoman Irene O'Connell, who is a survivor. Irene?
I just want to say a couple words. I'm a survivor, and if our cameras can go over there, there's Carolyn Living, who's also a survivor. Both of us. Hey, you're up, you're here. That's fabulous. So please urge everyone you know, it's your mother, your sister, your lover, your neighbor. They need to get yearly checkups. They need to take care of themselves so that they're around for the next glorious day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our third presentation this evening is we're going to present the Beautification Task Force Awards. Irene?
Carol is going to get someone very special so that we can give them a special award, which is a surprise. So, while we are waiting, let me get this. Come on, Vicki. She doesn't like this, but she's coming because she supports me. So I want to recognize Vicki's work, and I want to read this proclamation, which you did not have to prepare. So this says, the City of San Bruno and the San Bruno Beautification Task Force proudly presents this Special Appreciation Beautification Award to Deputy City Clerk Vicki Hachey for your efforts in facilitating the Beautification Award presentations. We would like to recognize the time, effort, and energy you have so generously given above and beyond your regular duties to make these award presentations special for our residents. And please accept the appreciation of the San Bruno City Council and our community. And I have a little something for you.
Vicki, you're not going to tell us anything? You're not going to say anything?
Sorry.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure and honor to do everything that I do in my job and with the Beautification Awards also. Thank you very much. That's very
Right.
kind.
Good for you.
Vicki has to go to another job, but I just want people to know how much she works for this. She does the invitations, she sends out the invitations, she gets the RSVPs, she creates the certificates, she prints them up, she puts them in this beautiful folders for everybody. She helps out with the catering of the reception, and she's very modest about all the effort she's put into this. And this is above and beyond her regular duties, so I just wanted to make sure we appreciated what she did. So, now I have to make sure I do this right. So this is the San Bruno Beautification Task Force. And before I go from here, I'd like to introduce them all. We have a few people here, but I'm going to read all their names and then point out the ones who are actually here. So Julie Ah, Jane Calvert, Sally Calvert, who is there. And Sally is wearing very proudly her Coastal Cleanup t-shirt that we participated and did the Coastal Cleanup this year. Yes. Emil Hans, who's not here. Carolyn Livinggood, who came. We're very happy. Bridget Lopez. Lee Miller. Carol Moriarty. Val Morgan, who's modestly sitting in the audience. Glenn Roos. Kelly Rodriguez. And Melanie Tobin, who's there. Okay, so this is our 20th year, believe it or not. And oops, is it this one? So we've been doing this for 20 years, and I wanted to say Vicki's been helping out for the 18 years that she's been here. So the Beautification Awards program is designed to recognize the efforts of residents, businesses, and public entities to improve the physical appearance of our community. The focus is on exteriors that require a significant commitment on the part of the property owner or renter. And anyone can nominate anyone. So some of you are here, you've nominated people, your neighbors have nominated you, or you've nominated yourself, which is quite acceptable. We have 3 categories, but first we're going to start with the special part. And we have certificates to recognize some special things that have happened in the city. The first one is, and I hope you've all noticed, the change at Golden Gate National Cemetery on the El Camino Street side. And So these are the four: Golden Gate National Cemetery, Cappuccino High School, City of San Bruno Senior Center, and the Fire Station 51. And this is the before of the Golden Gate Cemetery on El Camino. You can see this. It's a little hard to see the cyclone fence, but you can, kind of there. It didn't match the Sneath Lane or the 280 side. It was pretty dismal looking and not really honoring our veterans. But this is what it looks like now, and it's beautiful, and it has a proper sign, and we think it's fabulous. It's a long time coming. And is Kate McCall here? Oh, there you are. Come on up. So we would like to present the certificate to you for, I'm sorry, you're the director, and you've been there 10 years. Has it really been 10 years? So she knows what it used to look like, and she went through all the effort. So I'd like to present this to you, and if you'd like to say a few words.
I know it's been a long time coming, and I appreciate your long suffering in having that chain link fence there for quite some time. We're very happy to have the improved fence, and we're glad that it's an improvement in the community. That's our goal, is to have the cemetery be not only for the veterans and their families, but for the community to be proud of that it's a part of San Bruno. So I thank you for your recognition, and I thank the Avenue Flags Committee, who's been working long and hard to make this come about too. Thanks.
Actually, if you would stand right here for just a second. And if you would hold that. And, could you wait just 1 second? Because I would like to give special recognition to Carolyn Livingood for her role in the improvements to the perimeter of the Golden Gate National Cemetery. Your relentless dedication to honoring our veterans and their families, and your commitment to the betterment of San Bruno enhances the quality of life for our residents, workers, and visitors, and sets an example of love of community and country. And please accept the appreciation of the San Bruno City Council and the community. So would you stand up?
I'd like to invite all of you out to Veterans Day, Friday, November 11th. 10:30 a.m. is a musical prelude, and you'll be greeted by a up to 60-member West Bay community band. As usual, we'll probably have coffee and donuts out there for the first half hour. 11 o'clock, we start the official program, and I think you'll be delighted with the speakers and the singers that we've got lined up. So come one, come all. And let's show San Bruno's really proud of having a national cemetery in its city. Thank you.
One quick one. This is, how many years have we tried to get this for?
We're still working on it, too.
We also have a certificate honoring Jackie Spear because she was very instrumental in encouraging the federal government to put the money into making a fence. She did phone and apologize for not being able to come. She would have loved to see you all and to receive the recognition, but we will send it to her. Okay. Next one is Cappuccino High School. And some of you remember it before. And this is what it used to look like. Cappuccino is, I think it's 64 years old, somewhere around there. And this is another before. Not bad, but you should see what it looks like now. I know. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go look. And this is another after of this is a rendering, but this is what the little theater area looked like. So it was absolutely fabulous. Unfortunately, the principal wasn't able to come, but we have a representative from the Alumni Association and a very hard worker for the bond measure that helped build this. So would you have a few words?
Yes, I do. I'm currently Vice President of the Cappuccino Alumni Association, and I was a staff member at Cappuccino when the San Mateo Union High School District decided to renovate the district's deteriorating high schools. And I worked to promote the bond that made it happen. You voted for that beautiful campus. It is the result of a community coming together to enhance the quality of life for our students. All of you are responsible for making it happen. I've been taking reunion groups on tours to view the changes, and they are so impressed. If any of you who have not seen it would like to visit, please contact the school and I will arrange a time for you to tour and see up close this beautiful addition to the city of San Bruno.
And I apologize. I forgot to introduce you.
My name is Judith Puccini. No, I can take you to school. I'm there all the time.
Every good show has to have one flub, right? Okay, now that most of you have been waiting for, oh, no, not yet. Sorry. This is, wait a second. Oh, I'm sorry, this is out of order. Oh, well. This is, as you see, the before picture of the Fire Station 51 on El Camino. And you can see the different years. That used to be 2007 when we actually got rain. And you can see the nice lush grass. Then we stopped getting rain, and you can see in the middle in 2014 we had an attempt at xeriscaping, drought-tolerant plants. The attempt wasn't really great. I mean, the attempt was great. The results kind of flubbed up a little, but that's okay. So in 2015, there wasn't much of anything. Now, however, it looks like this. So we're very proud of it. It's a wonderful example of what you can do with xeriscaping, and I had the fire chief, there he is, primed to come and get this. So thank you very much, and you want to say something?
Yeah, my hands are still recovering from the blisters and moving all those rocks and putting all those plants in. But I wish I could take credit. But I'd have to give credit to Carrie Burns and the community services, mostly Dan Barrows. But I did have something behind the scenes where I called Dan about every week to say, when's that dirt going away? And this is he came by with a plan, and this is the result of it. And my office is right there, and I get to look out at it every day. It looks great. So, thank you, Carrie.
Well, it's only fitting. Poor Carrie, I told her she was second, but she's last. The next one is right here at the Senior Center. And again, in 2008, you can see what it looked like right at the corner. And 2014, it didn't look like much. But now, you can see what it looks like. So they did a lovely job. It makes such a difference. So Carrie, I know you were responsible in part. I know you had minions, but it was your direction. So congratulations. And would you like to say something?
I would just like to take a moment to thank the men and women in the Parks Maintenance Division of the Community Services Department. This is the kind of extraordinary work they can do when they have just a little bit of time beyond dealing with the parks and the medians and all the other manner of things that they address on a daily basis. And we hope that we'll be back here next year. The staff is working on the cable building right now, and hope that it looks as pretty as the fire station and the senior center. Thank you.
Okay, next is our residential section. Now, as I said, anyone can nominate anyone for anything, and some people have. Thank you. So we have quite a few people who were nominated, but as in anything, not everyone can win. So we narrowed it down the Beautification Task Force members, the people here and the rest of the members, do it's called a blind ballot. They vote on each picture that they see, and I accumulate all the things, and then we get a third, second, and first place winner. So, the first category is xeriscaping, which is the samples of just what you saw. The emphasis is for landscaping using plants that need little, if any, additional irrigation, and using rocks and other objects. So these first ones are going to be honorary mention, people that were nominated but did not receive an award, but they did act. We keep them in here because it's significant that somebody felt they should be nominated for their efforts. So I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. It's 485 Oak, 316 Oak, 1150 Vermont, 110 Hampton Court, 2640 Plymouth Avenue, 1580 Canes, 458 Beach, 724 Sycamore, 537 Elm. Oh, sorry, that one's a little hard to see. Trust me, it was xeriscaped. 754 Cypress, 3140 Jeffrey, 2331 Rollingwood, 356 Chapman, 229 Poplar, 461 Cypress, 1210 Claremont. And our third place winner for this category is 2090 Spyglass Drive. So, are those people here? No? Oh, I'm so sorry. They will be mailed a certificate and a small check. The money for the checks was donated by Berkshire Hathaway Realty. No city money was used for this, and we thank them every year for doing that. Now, second place. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops, wrong way. There's a few. There we go. A few pictures of Spyglass. Second place, 1195 Vermont Drive. Are those people here? Cynthia? No? Oh, too bad. So we'll also mail their certificate. And first place is 407 Linden. Is the Yee family here? Oh, there you are. Yay! Would you come up, please? And you receive a check, a certificate, a handshake, and you receive...
And a sign put in your front yard. Gee whiz, that's cool. Would you like to say anything about how you did this?
The lady that did all this is Carol. We go to the same church, Millbrae Bible. And it took a while, but it's worth it. And I want to thank you, Carol, and all you guys who started this program, 20 years ago? It's great. Thank you.
Here, let me take that.
Thank
There you
you.
go. You're
Thanks a
welcome.
lot.
Okay, next is, we call these single-family residents. Oh, there's some more Linden. This category acknowledges residents who make a significant effort to maintain curb appeal of their homes. And you can see all the cute little things. And again, there was quite a few nominations, quite a few. And I will run down the first ones, and then we'll get to the prizes. So this is Juniper, 1662 Juniper. 173 Santo Domingo, 872 Genevan, 1366 Williams, 240 Linden, 3350 Longview, 416 Kensington, very bright. 855 Easton, 351 Poplar, 460 Poplar, 132 Cypress, 150 Cypress. Oops, sorry. I'm missing one. Oh, and third place, finally, it's 101 Linden Avenue. Are those people here? No? Okay. And those people are Fishers. That's theirs. Second place, 559 Cypress Avenue. Linda Perry, you're here. Come on, Linda. Thank you for all the work you did. I'm sorry you don't get a plaque because you're 62nd place, but
Okay, no problem.
you get a check. Would you like to say something?
Just thank you very much. It was a creative process. It took a year and a lot of money, and but and hard work, and I enjoy it every day. So thank you.
And here's another shot of hers. And first place, is 150 Cypress. And Donald Burns, come on down, as they say. That takes a lot of maintenance to do all that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And you get the check.
Wow, thank you very much.
And a plaque. And would you like to say something?
I just thank you very much. It's quite a surprise. I have to give most of the credit to my husband because he's the one that's constantly trimming the junipers in the front and the hedges. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And we're down to one last category. And this is category that has houses that's shown the most improvement. And here, so the before pictures are from Google Maps, so they're a little grainy, but they'll give you some idea. The first few are, again, the people who were nominated but did not win. So these are the before and after. So this is before, 1621 Holly, and this is after. This is, a little more after. 1554 Niles, kind of looks like my yard. And after, I know, big difference, huh? 1668 Burroughs Avenue, and after. And third place winner is 160 Glenbrook Lane. And is the Glenbrook Lane person here? No? I'll show you the after. There's the after. So there's the before, and there's the after. I'm sorry they're not here. The next one is 2931 Ridgeway Avenue. And I believe those people are here. There she is. This is the before, and this is the after. A lot of work. You're very, very welcome. Right, there you go. Congratulations. Thank you. Did you want to say anything? Okay. And this is the first place winner, 509 Cherry Avenue. And are those people here? No? Oh, I'm sorry. But this is their before, and this is their after. So they will receive the plaque and all the other things. And that concludes my presentation for this. I thank my members who work tirelessly all year long. We do Operation Clean Sweep, if you did not know before, so we invite you to that. It's always the first Saturday in May at 9 o'clock. Come for donuts and camaraderie and go out and clean the city for a little bit and then come back and have lunch. So we hope to see you there. Thank you very much.
have another special presentation this evening. But first of all, I want to say, and I don't know how I know this, but 4-2 Giants, fifth inning.
Through the chair, it's 5-2 now.
5-2 Giants. There you go. 5-2. So getting my own signals back there. Anyway, we're going to receive a presentation on the Peninsula Corridor Joint Powers Board Caltrain Electrification Project, and Jill Gibson will present. Jill?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. Thanks for having us. Again, my name is Jill Gibson. I'm a principal planner with Caltrain, and tonight we're going to give you an update on our electrification project and in anticipation of an agreement that hopefully will be before you in a couple of weeks. So with that, I wanted to give a quick overview. I'm sure most folks are very familiar with Caltrain, but this is a good system map to kind of remind us the extent of the Caltrain corridor. So Caltrain operates from San Francisco down to San Jose and all the way to Gilroy. We own approximately 51 miles of the right-of-way just south of San Jose, and Union Pacific owns the tracks south of Tamian. Union Pacific, of course, operates over the Caltrain corridor. Our ridership, we implemented the Baby Bullet service in around 2009, which, as you can see, was kind of the year that our ridership spiked. The Baby Bullet service was competitive, or is still competitive, with travel time on the 101. And so currently we have approximately around 65,000 riders every weekday. So what does 65,000 riders every weekday look on the train? If you're a Caltrain rider, regular commuter, you know that during the peak commute hours, our trains are over capacity. Many of the trains, kind of here's a breakdown of kind of the high ridership trains, well over 100%. So that means standing room only for a lot of our trains. So tonight, we're going to talk about the electrification project, which is, as it says, 2020. We're expecting to be in revenue service in 2020. The bullet above that is CBOS PTC, which, if you know, it stands for Positive Train Control, which is a federally mandated safety project that the construction is complete, and we're testing the system right now. So a little bit, just briefly, what is Caltrain electrification? Well, it really includes two elements. One is the infrastructure component, so the overhead contact system and the traction power facilities. The second component really is the new electric fleet, which is EMUs. Our project will convert about approximately 75% of our fleet to the electric trains. The remaining 25% will be diesel trains until those diesel trains end their useful life, which then will convert to hopefully all electric. The service will remain at 79 miles an hour. It'll allow us to increase the trains per peak hour. We'll have 6 trains per hour per direction. Currently, there's 5. This will also allow us operational flexibility to either have more station stops within the same amount of travel time, or reduce the travel time with the same station stops. And I'll get into a little bit of that in the next slide. It'll also restore service to Atherton, weekday service, and Broadway. And I already mentioned the mixed fleet service for the interim period until we are fully electric. And then finally, we'll have continued Tenant diesel service down south. Amtrak and ACE operate on the Caltrain corridor until they veer off just north of Santa Clara, and that will continue with electrification. So what are the benefits? Well, electrification will reduce GHG. It will reduce congestion by hopefully getting more folks to ride the train and off our roads. The engines will be quieter, so we'll have noise reduction, cleaner air, again, hopefully more ridership, and as I mentioned, the electric trains will be faster, and potentially we could provide more frequent or more station stops. So again, today we have 5 trains in each direction, per peak hour, and we'll go to 6 with this electric fleet. As I mentioned, as an example, currently you can see under the today column, the baby bullet service 5 to 6 stops is about 60 minutes. We could have that same service pattern and achieve that same, provide that same service with 45-minute travel time. So that's a pretty big difference. Or we could still have that same 60-minute travel time and stop 13 stops. So what does this mean for the city of San Bruno? What will it look like? Well, all of the good news is that all of the infrastructure is within the Caltrain right-of-way. So what does that include? It includes, as this picture shows, the poles and catenary system. Now this picture is just an example, of course, because the poles and wires aren't in the ground. This is Amtrak's North End electrification project. Also within the city of San Bruno, there'll be potential staging area, again, all within Caltrain's right-of-way. And there'll be construction coordination, of course, with city staff. And what would that look like? Well, it would look like providing design review over our design plans, and also reviewing our haul routes and potential traffic control permits. All go through the city. And in addition, there is one at-grade crossing, which you are probably very well aware. And in order to string the wires, we'll go through the city's traffic control permit process, and we would need to temporarily do a night closure of that street to string the wires. So as I mentioned, hopefully before you in 2 weeks will be the San Bruno City Agreement. And what is this? Really, it just defines the roles and responsibility between Caltrain and our city partners. And it provides reimbursement for staff time, for city time, to review our plans and provide comments, as well as issuing the permits. And this will allow an early design review process. So this is kind of outside the standard city permit process. We're going to come to you early on and show you our plans. This agreement is already is in place with 14 of the 19 jurisdictions. We've been working really hard over the last year to get these agreements executed. The Federal Transit Administration expects this agreement from our city partners to issue the full funding grant agreement, which is approximately $680 million that the federal government is giving for this electrification project. We're hoping that FFGA is given to us at the end of this year. So that's the importance of the agreement for Caltrain and for the project. So this is a pretty high-level schedule. As you can see, we issued a limited notice to proceed in September. We're anticipating issuing the full notice to proceed in the spring. We expect the first train sets to arrive in 2019, and then roll out the first passenger service with the electric trains in 2021. And of course, we couldn't do this without all of our city partners. As you are very well aware, we have a local policymaker group, which I believe San Bruno has a representative sit on. We also have citizen advisory committees, as well as a city staff coordinating group, which the electrification project we regularly bring bi-monthly updates to, that I think your staff participates in. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
So I know you showed it up there, but tell us again the schedule for this whole electrification operation.
Yep. So there's the schedule, and we anticipate construction beginning mid-2017. But it's crucial that this agreement is in place before that, because we have some early work we would like to do with the city, and this would provide kind of an agreement in place to reimburse the staff time needed to provide comments on those plans.
Okay. It's been a long time in coming. Any questions of Jill here? Anyone? Sure. Marty?
Have you, do you have a contract already awarded, or is that?
We do. I'd like to introduce Lynn. He's our project engineer, and he'd love to tell you about the contractor.
Sure. And to answer your question, yes, we do have a contractor selected and on board. The contractor is Balfour Beatty. We issued a limited notice to proceed for them to be able to start some of the early design work, which is expected to carry us really through between now and the spring timeframe for when we start some of the work out in terms of breaking ground out in the field.
Starting the work in San Bruno in the spring?
No. So the way the schedule is laid out, they're going to start in a couple different locations along the right-of-way. San Bruno is within the first segment, so the project is segmented into 4 different segments. San Bruno falls in segment 2, and it is one of the first ones that they are planning to do the work in. The specific details, the dates, when they're supposed to start the work is still being looked at. They have not submitted their baseline schedule to Caltrain yet. We're expecting that in the next couple months or so from the contractors. Once we do, that's certainly information we'll take back to the city for coordination with the city staff. But as far as rough time frames concerned, I think Joe alluded to it earlier, sometime in mid-2017, we're expecting to see them probably in this general vicinity to start that first pass of the work.
Are you anticipating primarily the work during day hours, or there's going to be some night work, but is it primarily during the day?
So a big chunk of the work will certainly be happening actually at nighttime in order to keep the revenue service going. There will be a mixture of daytime and nighttime work. From a contractor efficiency standpoint, I know they're planning a lot of nighttime work just so they can get in and move away from the area as quickly as they can. One of the differences for the project is, as opposed to a typical station or a grade separation project, it is a very linear project where they do not stay in one single location for an extended period of time. They will essentially do the work, move on to the next location, and keep moving linearly along the right-of-way. Now, that means they will come back for a couple of different passes. The anticipated sequences, they'll come in, do the foundations for the first pass, come back, and set the poles and wires in the second pass. So it may take a couple of different passes, but they're not expected to be in one location for an over extended period of time.
Thank you.
Good. Anything else? Well, thank you very much for your presentation, both of you.
Thank you.
Great. Item 5, review of the agenda. I'd like to move, if there's no objection, item 11, which is the annual report from the Planning Commission, up to right after 8 public hearings. Item 6, approval of the minutes of the special council meeting of September 27, 2016, and the regular council meeting of September 27, 2016. Any errors, corrections, or omissions? Seeing none, to be approved as submitted. Item number 7 is the consent calendar. All items are considered routine or implemented earlier council action and may be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion unless requested. Any action or discussion on the consent calendar?
Through the chair.
Ken?
I'd like to pull item F as in Frank.
F, okay. Irene, did you have something?
No, I was just going to move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and second, move to approve the consent calendar except for item F. All in favor?
Aye.
Through the chair, before you move to F. On item A, on the accounts payable, I approved the warrant register but not supporting Myers-Nave Law Professional invoice.
Item F, to adopt a resolution supporting California Proposition 67 ban on single-use plastic bag referendum. Ken?
I just want to let the public know that this is a referendum that would possibly, if approved, would allow cities to reverse any prior legislation or ordinances against single-use plastic bags. And so the city of San Bruno is strong against this. And so we will, I guess the idea is to vote yes on Proposition 67. The recommendation is to vote yes on Proposition 67 and stay green in San Bruno without plastic bags. With that, I'd like to approve it.
Second.
Motion second to approve item F on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Item number 8, public hearings. There aren't any this evening. We'll go right now to item number 11, which is the annual report of the Planning Commission. Mr. Biasotti.
Good evening, Mayor Wayne and City Council. I'm Rick Biasotti, Chair of the Planning Commission. David? You got to move the black thing. Okay. This year we welcomed a new commissioner, Marie Kyle. She joined us, and she's a wonderful addition, so thank you for your interview process and appointing her. Next slide. Significant activities. We sent to the council a recommendation for a residential and commercial linkage fee. This restores the opportunity for San Bruno to collect housing impact fees for rental housing and adds the opportunity for including commercial projects. Next slide, please. The Crestmore neighborhood. 9 of the 10 lots are now completed, and the 10th will be completed mid-2017. 1250 Grundy Lane is under construction, and that's the San Francisco Police Officers Credit Union building. The Crossings Hotel was approved by the commission in April. Next slide. And the bike and walk plan was approved in June. Next slide, please. Goals for 2017. We're looking ahead to a zoning code update later in 2016. And we're looking at a climate action plan that'll be coming in 2017. Anticipated projects. 29 single-family homes at Glenview Terrace. 271 El Camino, 20 to 24 new apartments where the Lee's Buffet used to be. 111 San Bruno Avenue, down by the Caltrain station. They're looking at a 5-story mixed-use building, 60 units, and approximately 8,500 square feet of commercial on the ground floor. Skyline College is looking at 68-plus residential units, a mix of detached multi-unit, and some of that will be used for faculty. San Mateo Avenue, we're looking forward to a San Mateo Avenue streetscape plan. We're looking for a Victory Honda dealership to come back with another set of plans for us to continue forward with. We're looking for redevelopment plans from the shops at Tanforan. They're interested in redeveloping again. The Transit Corridors Parking Comprehensive Plan and the redevelopment of the Bay Hill Office Center. Projects on the horizon that are a little ways out yet. The Budget Motel at 850 El Camino. We're hoping to see that come forward. And the redevelopment of the Mills Park Business Center at the corner of San Bruno and El Camino. That possibly could get us 30,000 square feet of commercial and 300 units of potential residential. So we're looking forward to that coming. And with that, I'd like to thank David and his staff for putting the PowerPoint together. And any questions?
Ken?
Through the chair, I would just like to thank Rick for your service over 10 years. It just seems that ever since Transit Corridors Plan, General Plan, every plan that this city could think of has gone before you and gone smoothly. And then this whole resurgence of development. And I like to compliment staff and the commission for your expertise and the experience. And I want to thank Commissioner Suge and Joe Samut for their service. We understand they won't be renewing their terms, and we just want to thank them for their service and hope that the replacements can fill those big shoes. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
For your
And
service.
Joe and Suge have agreed to stay on until their replacements have been appointed.
Yeah.
So we won't be without.
Won't miss a beat.
No.
Great. Thank you, Rick.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome.
Please relay our thanks to the rest of the commissioners.
I will do that.
All of our commissions, boards, and committees in the city are voluntary, and some put in an awful lot of time, especially Planning Commission. You actually get out into the field and see what the proposed developments are, and it's quite an effort. It's a lot of time, and it's the lifeblood of our city. All of this happens kind of behind the scenes, and people don't realize it's all volunteer. So once again, we thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome.
Item number 9, public comment on items not on this agenda. It is the council's policy to refer matters raised in this forum To staff for investigation and interaction where appropriate. The Brown Act prohibits the council from discussing or acting upon any matter not agendized pursuant to state law. Would anyone like to address the council under public comment? All right, seeing none, we'll get right into conduct of business. The first item is item A, appoint citizens to fill vacancies in the citizen advisory boards, commissions, and committees. I just want to give a little oversight on how this council has done this before. And we ask people all year long to put their names in and grade what they'd like to participate in, whether it be traffic safety and parking, citizen crime prevention, those types of things, in a order of priority. And we interview all of those people and keep those interviews at the city clerk's office. And what we'll do tonight is appoint 3 people to boards, commissions, and committees that we're short on. But this evening, I'd like to do just a little differently. I want to read the members that are applying to these different boards, commissions, and committees because I think it's important. Then I'll ask for nominations from the city council. If we get a second, we'll hold it till we get another nomination and a second, and we'll go with the highest vote for that particular committee. So the first one is we have one member missing from the Citizens Crime Prevention Committee, 1 vacancy. Melody Blanchard, Deanna Robinson, Jeff Wu, Marco Durazo, Carlos Gonzalez, Jerome Hong, Richard Seguin, Paul Wapensky, Linda Papanzairi, and Robert Hanley. Those are the people that have applied in first, second, third, fourth, eighth, ninth choices, but they've applied for this particular shown their interest in this particular Crime Prevention Committee. So do I have some nominations for Crime Prevention Committee?
Through the chair,
Irene?
I'd like to nominate Jeff Wu.
All right.
Through the chair.
Wu?
Is there a second
W-O-O?
for Jeff Wu?
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Rico?
I'd like to nominate Carlos Gonzalez.
Carlos Gonzalez. Is there a second for Carlos?
Second.
Second, okay. Any other nominations?
No, I'm
Okay,
gonna-
there's a motion and a second. Ken?
I'd like to nominate Deanna Robinson.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. So we have Carlos Gonzalez and Deanna Robinson. Let's just do them in the order they're printed here. Is there a motion for a, we have a motion and a second. Who would like to approve the appointment of Deanna Robinson?
I would.
Aye.
Okay, is there, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You got 3?
Now we have 3, right.
Okay.
I'll go aye too. So thank you very much. Deanna Robinson, and go ahead, Marty.
Comment. I know Carlos Gonzalez, and he did express interest in 2 positions, and he was actually more interested in the Cultural and Arts Commission, but I just wanted to share that with you and why I didn't give him that 3rd vote.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Deanna Robinson will be on Citizen Crime Prevention going forward. The next committee is the Community Preparedness Committee, but we have 1 vacancy, but we're actually going to vote on that at the next meeting. Is that correct, Carol? Okay. The next one is Culture and Arts Commission. We have 1 vacancy. We have Mary Eileen McGann, Judith Puccini, Carlos Gonzalez, Jeff Wu, Deanna Robinson, who we're not going to put her there because she's just appointed to the other one, and Robert Hanley. Any nominations there?
Through the chair.
Did you say, oh.
Ken?
I'd like to nominate Judith Puccini.
Okay.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second for Judith Puccini. Okay. Any other nominations?
I nominate Carlos Gonzalez.
Carlos Gonzalez. Okay. Is there a second for Carlos?
Second for Carlos.
Second for Carlos. Any others?
I'd like to nominate Eileen Mary McGann.
Okay. Is there a second for Eileen? No second for Eileen. Okay.
Was that?
Oh, I was going to second her, but we already have.
Okay.
So.
All right. Let's do, it's Carlos Gonzalez, right? Okay. All in favor of Carlos Gonzalez?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay. That's 4. Carlos, you're in. Good. And the last one is the Traffic Safety and Parking Committee. We have one vacancy. Bonnie Amiot, Marco Durazo, Richard Seguin, Melody Blanchard, Jeff Wu, Paul Wapensky, and Robert Hanley.
Through the chair,
Rico?
Richard Seguin, I would recommend.
Second.
There's a motion second for Richard Seguin. Any other nominations? All right. All in favor of Richard Seguin?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Richard, you're in. Carol, do you have them all? Okay, very good. And once again, we want to reiterate that these are still in Carol's file, so if you didn't get picked tonight, do not be discouraged because these appointments come up all of the time. So, and I'd just like to bring up now, since it was mentioned that we do have 2 openings coming up in the Planning Commission, what we did before, and I think you all got an email from staff this afternoon as to what we did. We appointed a subcommittee to actually work with staff and a subcommittee from the Planning Commission to work, because the Planning Commission is a little different animal. It's a very complicated committee and a lot of reporting requirements individually too, similar to City Council. So we want to actually interview those people a little more stringently than we have before. So I would like to keep that format, if that's okay with everyone, and appoint a subcommittee of Irene O'Connell and Rico Medina. That'd be all right?
That's fine, and I'd like to keep the same format too that's been worked on.
Okay, is that all right with everybody?
Okay, so we can just review it.
Connie, you have something?
Mr. Mayor, if I could
need to
just
be
ask for
brought up to speed,
clarification, I failed to remember when we prepared the email earlier today that the last process utilized a joint subcommittee of the Planning Commission
Right.
and the City Council. So if it's the council's pleasure, we could continue that practice and just ask the Planning Commission if they'd like to participate, or at your pleasure, the 2 council members, having already received very substantial input from the commission previously, might proceed on their own, but that's up to the council.
I think it's good to have a couple of planning commissioners there.
Okay,
That would be a good idea.
we will seek their participation as well.
Okay.
And just one more quick thing, and that is that also for your consideration tonight is the fact that in even-numbered years, half of your appointed board, commission, and committee members have terms, their 4-year terms expire, and so staff is recommending your consideration of reappointment of individuals who are already serving as part of the process tonight, or any other action the council may wish to make sure that we are
Yeah.
fully, we have a full
Supposed to be by the
complement
end
of board and commission members.
Right, that's the next thing I was going to bring up.
Thank you.
Take action, or does it?
Yeah, we can take action on
Can
that.
we take action on that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, okay. I would recommend that we reappoint everyone that wants to be reappointed.
I will second that motion.
Okay? On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. You got it, Carol? Good. Item 10, let me see, which one is it? Do I have my little B? Okay. Receive a report and direct staff to reschedule the November 8th, 2016 regular city council meeting to November 9th, 2016. November 8th being the national election, so people may want to see the fun on TV instead of watching the fun here on TV. So,
Well, this is obviously an important
Yeah.
event, a national election for president. It also is a evening when our city clerk's office is quite busy with the conduct of the election right here in San Bruno. So we have previously asked for the council's availability for other days that week, and have confirmed that your availability on November 9th, the next day, makes that a viable date for rescheduling that city council meeting. We've placed this on the discussion agenda primarily as a means of notifying the public, particularly for anybody who might be watching from home, that we're giving you a chance to watch the presidential election on November 8th, and hopefully to tune in to the San Bruno City Council on Wednesday, November 9th.
okay, thank you. I think we have a consensus. I think that's a good idea.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll do that. Item 12, comments from council members, anything? Okay. Closed session, there isn't a closed session this evening. We're going to go right into a study session to conduct study session discussion of key issues related to zoning ordinance update, changes in land use tables by zoning districts, signage, including murals, downtown parking and zoning regulations, and consideration of use of public benefit districts. And I'll give it to David and staff now. I don't know if, David, if we're going to get through all of these this evening, but we'll see how far we can go. Connie?
So if you would like to move into the other room, you're welcome to do that. We have a table set up, or you're welcome to stay here, whatever is the council's
just stay here.
preference. You'd like to stay here?
Yeah, is that all right?
Perfect. Yes.
Does that work for you, David?
Does he have a PowerPoint or something?
Yeah, I think he does.
Oh, you're set.
PowerPoint's on the other side.
Okay. We're going into the other room.
We're in the other room.
Score update, Mayor.